Hello, we are in episode number 11, where we discuss with Isabel Duarte about the Portuguese experience controlling Gumboro disease. Enjoy! So, dear poultry industry friends, we are here back in Portugal, in this beautiful city as Lisbon, in this time to talk with a colleague from Portugal, Isabel Duarte, that are going to share with us her experience regarding the control of the Gumboro disease in the Portugal farm. So, how are you today?
Good morning, Marco. How are you? Thanks for talking to me about this. We have a good example with Gumboro in Portugal. Yes.
Okay, I'm really glad to receive you in Tannin with Experts, and I think you have a lot of valuable information to share with us. We know that we are running several epidemiological surveys in Europe to check what kind of circulation of Gumboro virus we have in Europe, and for sure Portugal was included on it. Can you tell me or share with us a little bit how this survey was conducted, which kind of samples was collected?
Yes, as soon as we were challenged to do this disease awareness plan, we wanted to get in immediately, because the perception in Portugal is that Gumboro was not an issue, was not a problem. So we wanted to go in and do a blind sample. We challenged two big companies in the country, and mainly we wanted to target different geographical places in the country. So by the end, in these three different geographical areas, we took around 60 samples in two different customers.
Okay, and which kind of samples are collecting?
We collected blood and bursa samples.
And can you share with us a little bit about the results of that? What did you find?
We tried to collect the samples as late as possible in the life of the birds. In Portugal, we slaughter very early, between 30 and 32 days. So we tried to have these birds, to have these samples taken at 35 days. So serological speaking, we had different results. We had no seroconversion in vaccinated birds. We had low seroconversion in infected birds, and we also had very high seroconversion in vaccinated birds, which made us think that there could be something else around it. In terms of PCRs, then we ran the PCRs. We found a lot of vaccine where it should be. We found a lot of some negatives where vaccine should be, and we also found field viruses in these samples.
There is a recent publication in partnership with University of Padova, with Matthias Cecchinato leading the studies. And can you tell us a little bit more about that, because it's related to some Portuguese samples?
Yes, these samples were all sent to, the PCR samples were all sent to the University of Padova. And in those flocks that we found field viruses, the university tried to put them on and name them and put them on the classifications that we know for Gumboro. The fact is that it couldn't fit into the usual or the known classifications we had, as in the article of Jack Wood. And so they considered that these variants, they should belong in a different genogroup. That's why we developed and we made an article on these samples and on this variation of the strains found in Portugal.
In most parts of the world, the Gumboro is not a clinical disease anymore, at least it's not perceived as a disease causing really clear signs as rude mortality, if the classical clinical signs. Do you think that is true for Portugal as well?
It's exactly what's happening in Portugal. We did a blind sampling, so we were not looking for anything specific. We were not looking for mortality or whatever. It was just blind. The fact is, in places where we found these variants and we track the results, the clients told us there could be some performance issues for a few flocks in these farmers. Actually, others, no issues at all. But the most common thing is heterogeneity and bad performance results. It's what it's seen in those flocks.
Of course, to relate to what you are saying, that to understand the disease and to control the disease, one of the most important parts is to understand the dynamic of the disease, how it's circulating on the farms and in the real world. So, what do you recommend when you talk about monitoring Gumboro disease and how to understand in the field, how to control it?
How to see if there is something going on. Just don't rely on the fact that you want to see mortality or damaged boosters or whatever. Just do a regular monitoring, not so much on serology. Serology cannot give you a lot of conclusions. Serology could monitor your vaccination if it's seroconverting, but mainly do some random samples to see if there is colonization with field virus, and to see whatever it is, go there, and then to control, of course, apply a good vaccine with a good virus and with the vaccination route that you can control. Vaccination, it's very important. If you can have a good vaccine, but if it's not well applied, it won't work, it won't control. So the better way is to have a good vaccine, well applied. And this was done in one of our clients. Some flocks positive to variants, they have changed to a novel vaccine, Transmune, and the field virus was displaced. After one flock, we didn't expect it to go so well, but that's the next flock with Transmune, the field virus was not there anymore. So this is a good way to control Gumboro, to see if you have an issue, even if you think you don't have an issue, and then to follow up the results of the measures you have taken to control it.
I would like first to thank you for sharing your expertise and experience, Isabel. But before we close, I would like to ask you, do you have any kind of advice, something that you would like to tell to the veterinarians in the field when the topic is control Gumboro disease? Do you have any advice for them?
Like I said in previous answer, just check constantly if you have it. If you don't see it, check if you have it, and then choose and invest on a good product so that you won't have the setbacks on performance that you may have with subclinical Gumboro issues.
Thank you so much, Isabel.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm really glad to receive you here.
Thanks.
And you, keep turning for the experts, and see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for watching this episode. And do not hesitate to give us your feedback by commenting down below in the comment section. Goodbye, stay safe.